Happy Monday to all of our students. This is a lesson for any kinder through fifth grade student. And today we're going to be talking about classical music. At the end, there'll be a quick little thing that'll ask you to leave a comment. That's optional, just for fun, just to see if you're seeing this. And I hope you are. You're going to see, as soon as I can get my computer to behave itself, you're going to see a definition of what classical music as a style sounds like and kind of some things about it. Classical is when it's fancy, it's written down typically. It's not usually somebody making it up on the spot. The people who play classical music typically have practiced a lot, whether they're, a McNary High School student who are practicing for their concert, or if they're in a professional orchestra like the Oregon Symphony. Typically, the people who play it, they're either in school or they're professionals, meaning that's their job. That's something they do for a living. Now today, if I tried to talk about all three of these, you'd have to listen to me for like 2 hours, and that doesn't sound like a good plan to me. So I'm going to focus on the orchestra and specifically the instruments of the orchestra. If you look, we have 4 big families: the woodwinds, the strings, the brass, and the percussion. All 4 of these are in our families, and by the way, not all the instruments that fit into these fit in the orchestra. For instance, if I tried to fit a guitar in here, yeah, it would work in the string family, but it's not really part of an orchestra typically. Same with the recorder. Recorder is an instrument we play at school a lot. It would be a woodwind, but it's not really part of the orchestra. So if you ever sit and go, why didn't she talk about guitar? Why didn't she talk about recorder? It's probably not a normal part of the orchestra. Today, let's start by focusing on the woodwinds. The woodwinds, if you don't know, have these 5 instruments as their kind of base instruments. There's other instruments, but these are the important ones: clarinet, flute, oboe, saxophone, bassoon. They tend to blow air. They have lots of keys, which are what some kids call buttons, and they have holes. They're typically made of wood, plastic, or even brass, like the saxophone. Saxophone's kind of the weird one, and you'll see in a video I'm about to show you, they are not going to show you the saxophone, because saxophone, it's more of a band and not so much an orchestra instrument. Taking a look, you'll have to give it a second to load. This is the woodwind family, and I'll skip ahead. He'll talk just for a second. Come on, computer. There we go.
My name is Grant, and I am the conductor of the orchestra. Let's meet the woodwind section, going from the lowest instrument to the highest. The contrabassoon. The bassoons. The clarinets. The oboes. The flutes. The piccolo. Together, the woodwind section sounds like this.
So, as he said, that was the woodwind section. I was going to quickly show you just so you remember. Again, they blow air. And then the next family is called the brass family. And you're going to find they also blow air, but specifically they buzz their air. They buzz their lips with air into a mouthpiece. If you look at the ends of all these instruments, they all have a mouthpiece that makes kind of like a, I guess, kind of a cup shape. They're usually gold or silver colored. So in this picture, they're all gold. If they're a silver color, it makes no difference. And I always tell kids, they are not actually made of gold or silver. If they were, they'd not only be very expensive, they'd probably be way too heavy. Take a look, and again, you're going to see the same orchestra, and they're going to show you the brass family. As soon as my computer cooperates. There we go.
My name is Grant, and I'm the conductor of the orchestra. Let's meet the brass section, the tuba, the trombones, the trumpets, the horns, Together, the brass section sounds like this. That is the brass section.
Awesome. So, just like he said, that's the brass section. Moving on, we're going to take a look. So I don't want to make a video that takes too long. We're going to look at the strings family. The string families typically make their sound either, well, they make their sound literally with their string, and it's made by either using a bow, which is like a long stick that you'll see people play. It has hair on it also, or string on it. Or they can just pluck it with their fingers. You'll see, unlike the other families, these look pretty identical. And the big difference is going to be the size. Violin will be small and high, while way down here, the double bass is very large and very low.
My name is Grant, and I'm the conductor of the orchestra. Let's meet the string section, going from the highest instrument to the lowest. The violins. The violas. the cellos. The double basses. And there's one more special instrument, the harp. Together, the string section sounds like this. That is the string section.
Awesome. So we have one last family to go, and that is going to be the wonderful percussion family. They're very unique in that you can see there's a huge variety, and also they're unique because usually instead of playing just one, a person who plays percussion typically can play multiple, if not all of these. If you decide to play percussion in a fifth grade band, typically you would start on a snare drum. Looking here, it hits, scrapes, or shakes, and let's take a listen. They won't have all of these instruments in the video, so keep that in your brain.
My name is Grant, and I'm the conductor of the orchestra. Let's meet some of the instruments in the percussion section. The claves. The maracas. The bongos. The drum kit. And that is the percussion section.
So today we learned about the 4 families of the orchestra. If there was a family or an instrument that you really enjoyed, feel free to write it in the comments on this post. If you don't remember the name of it, you could describe it. And again, this is optional. It's totally up to you. I am so excited to see who comments, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday.